We're having some technical difficulties. There we go. Hey, everyone. How y'all doing today? Hope everyone is enjoying this last day of Black History Month. Hey, welcome to another edition of Introducing the Podcast. I am your girl, Smart Video Girl, and I am so happy that you are here with me today. Tell me where you're watching us from. Tell me what you're doing today. How was your day? Okay, how are you doing today? Because first of all, I'm doing great. Okay, y'all see this hair? It's kind of like popping. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Hey, everybody. I appreciate you tuning in today for another edition of Introducing the Podcast. You know that we are here every Tuesday at 8 p.m. this season, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're on the West Coast, you can catch us at 5 p.m. You know, check it out. I definitely appreciate that. And so much so that I appreciate every single person who is watching this and will watch this in the future. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this podcast and the Only Greatness Media Production YouTube channel so that you will never miss anything that we have going on here because there's so many different things going on. And if you didn't know, you don't already do, please go follow me over on Instagram at Smart Video Girl. Yes, I am Smart Video Girl, and today I'm super excited because I have a very special guest who's going to be joining me. And he is actually, so a lot of my guests have been friends of mine, people that I know, or people that I have come to know. But my guest today is going to be an introduction for me as well as for you in getting to know who he is. And so I'm super duper excited because he was, though, referred to me by a friend. So, that's how it works here. Friends helping friends. That's what we do. So I am super duper excited, you guys, to bring you my guest for today, Mr. A.W. Jackson. Welcome him to the show.
How you doing? How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing lovely today.
Yeah, so we want to give a shout out to Yonder. Hey, Yonder.
Yonder.
Yonder. Yonder. Listen, so for those who do not know, I started this podcasting, internet radio, whatever you want to call it, journey back in 2007 as an entrepreneur. And when I walked into the studio at I Am for Radio, shout out to the whole I Am for Radio team. One of the hosts there, one of the people who was a host was Yonder. And he was hosting a show with another gentleman, and they were like phenomenal. Like they had it going on. You understand what I'm saying? So Yonder has been an influence, a friend. He has been a mentor in so many areas, and um, he is the reason why we have A.W. Jackson with us today because he referred him as one of his author poet friends. So thank you so much for being here with me today.
Well, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yes, no problem. So if you guys are here for AW, let me know. Say hey, tell me where you're watching from. Let him know how much you are supporting him and appreciating uh, him and and all the work that he is doing. So as I mentioned, A.W. Jackson is an author, poet, originally from Maryland, but now he lives in Durham, North Carolina, which are two areas that I'm very familiar with. So I was very excited when I saw that, and I'm so excited to get into this. So, first and foremost, you are an author. You have two books out, right?
Yes.
Yes. So, the first book is called William Thoughts, and the second book, which was just released in December, is called William Laws. All right.
Correct.
All right. So, tell us a little bit about those books.
So I will start with my first project, William Thoughts. It was more of an introductory of like who I am as a person,
Mhm.
who I want to be as a writer. I want my audience to see me as. I didn't want to go too strong into my different beliefs and things like that. different topics. So it was kind of light. I made sure it was really light, and those were poems based off of when I was younger. I would say I've written some of those poems either between middle school, high school to early college. So it's that transition in my life. It's very, I would say, it's very vague, but it's
Okay.
still very, very good. I didn't want to give people too much too quick. And then my second book, William Laws, I'm definitely more in depth. You can see my maturity, different topics, a whole lot of different writing styles I've changed as well. Try to challenge myself. So that's what you can expect in William Laws.
Okay. Now I was doing a little research in it, and as I was looking, you mentioned like part of the explanation for your book is you writing things that people think but don't say. Where does that kind of come into play? What was your inspiration for saying something like that? How was that shown in your writing?
It came about. That's like who I am as a person.
Mhm.
I kind of go against the grain a little bit. Um, I was always told that if you combine, like Malcolm X and um, and Socrates and things like that, or um, that's kind of representation of me, kind of like a balance of both worlds. Um, so that's kind of like who I am as a person. So I would just say, anything, whether you might feel a certain way about it, but with my readings and writing, just like to speak from my heart and my passion, and I want people to, like understand and also comprehend, what I'm saying, and be able to feel what I'm saying. 'Cause I feel like a lot of different, especially a lot of different poetry. I think it's not a lot of effort at it,
Mhm.
as in, a lot of people talk about the same topics and things like that. Trying to be different with my topics may make you think more into certain things, ask me a lot of questions. That's my whole purpose of writing. I want to be, ask questions and things like that and be challenged. So,
I love that. I love that, y'all. Y'all know, look, if you know me, you know I'm like over here bubbling because I am all for pushing the envelope. I'm all for empowering people and really getting them to think. Hence why today's show is called Words and Thoughts. And I love the way that you spell thoughts. It's very out the box. And I love the way that you spell laws. It's very, thought provoking. So, I'm definitely interested in that. So, how many poems? Because I was looking, and it looked like you had a lot of poems in your first book.
first book is not too many. I would say it's
Okay.
about between like 50 to 60. But then book two is definitely over 150 poems in book two.
Wow. Wow. Okay, I see you over there. I see you. So look, we're gonna give a little shout out to the people who are here watching us. Charlotte, North Carolina is in the building. Okay. All
In
right,
Charlotte,
Carolina is 704. Yeah, that's 704. That's Charlotte right there. Okay, okay. All right, and then Aaron Green from said, "Hey A.W, I'm living in Charlotte, North Carolina." So
hey,
yes,
what's up, Aaron?
yes, and I gotta give a shout out to my girl Chloe. Hey Chloe. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank y'all for tuning in. We're talking to A.W Jackson. Right. And so you told me behind the stage, but what does A.W stand for?
so my first name is Andre. My middle name is William. So I wanted to go more of like a prestige, um, more professional name. So A.W Jackson, or I go by William. Either or is fine
Okay.
with me.
Okay, but look, Andre, that's real like hoodish stuff. Like we like it. We like it. It's cultural. It's cultural. It's cultural, right? So I love that, and that I love that comparison. You said Socrates and Malcolm X, like you, those are two people you don't hear put together very often. And as we're closing out Black History Month, what are some of the issues that you kind of address in your books as it may relate to being a black man in America?
Almost definitely. Definitely racism. Um, I discuss different things that we were taught as we was younger. Um, and we thought that were true, but
Okay.
later on, doing history, reading things of that nature, we discover certain things weren't true, especially things that like systematics that we learned in school, things like that. Um, I talk about a lot of like life, like relationships as well. Between my upbringing, coming from a single family household, things like that. Just finding myself, especially with not being raised with a father. So like just trying to find yourself as a man, like as a black man, in this world is pretty difficult because you don't know like which way to go or like how to do certain things. So it's kind of you gotta learn it on your own. So just going through that, my process with dealing with like people, my work life. Um, I talk about mental health as well. Firmly believe in mental health. Talk about seeing like like counselors and therapists and things like that. So just my transitional journey, especially from moving to one state to another state. I talk about that as well. So it's a lot of different topics and things that's in this book I feel like all my readers can relate to.
Yes, I'm going to say this right now because I'm listening to you, and you're giving me Jada Kids vibes. Like I don't know if anybody tell you that, but your voice, the internet or whatever, but you got a real raspy voice. Do you do like open mics? Do you do spoken word, or is it a lot of just written poetry for you?
So a lot of it is written in poetry. Oh yeah, and to answer your question, I do get that a
Okay,
lot.
okay. I know I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
crazy. I know I can.
yeah.
I knew it. I
But
knew it.
yeah, I haven't done any spoken word. I've been meaning to get on that, especially during like COVID and things. It's been super difficult, because a lot of stuff is like online, like YouTube and like Zoom and things. I want to go like more impersonal.
Okay,
Um, so for the open, spoken words that I have done, it has been like on Zoom meetings, but nothing personal.
okay, okay. You looking to do more of that? You definitely said that.
I do. I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone,
Okay,
because that I do like struggle with reading my work like in front of people.
I'm
So I am
excited.
trying to break the cycle and get out there more as far as talking to people about my work and what I offer to the people.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question that it may or may not, just to invoke some thought, right? What do you believe for yourself? What do you see yourself? What do you believe is the purpose for A.W.
I feel like my purpose is to inspire people. Um, I feel like if you're not inspiring people in this lifetime, it's just a waste of life.
Mm,
That's just me personally. Like I want to make a change in my community, make people see a different light of different situations and things, giving people motivation to do whatever they want to do. Um, I know a lot of people looked at me as an example and looked up to me with writing my book and then believe I can get something published and put this hard and effort into it. So anything is possible as long as you work hard and be consistent and persistent as well. So that's what I want to do, and also I want to encourage just our culture in general. Black girls, black boys, to have that self confidence. You know, um, and being that that mentor and that example, that leader for them. So
I love that. I love that. Um, like on this show, a lot of times, and just in general, in my coaching and when I speak, I always say that there's two important things that we have to do in life, and that is to grow and then contribute. So as we get, as we go through things, all of us go through challenges in life. We are growing in ourselves, and then we have to, I feel it's our responsibility to contribute in some way that is unique to who you are. So I love that is something that you inspire to do through your writing as a poet to help encourage other people. So I appreciate that. So let me ask you, how do you stay positive in adverse situations and circumstances?
how I stay positive? For one, I got my friends, my friends and family. And my loved ones and my significant other, they help me. They talk to me all the time, especially when I'm going up and down, with emotions and things, because we all got, a life that we live, whether it be our day-to-day life, our work, it's hard to keep a balance, right? So
Mhm.
always talking, to my friends and family, stay and keep me level-headed. Um, Also, just talking to other people as well. Like, I like to give advice and things. I'm always open ears if someone has a question or things like that. I'm open to give them, my feedback and stuff. I like doing that and helping people as well.
Okay. Oh, I appreciate this. So tell me, how was your journey to getting to becoming a published author? What were some of the challenges that you faced internally and externally with actually getting your book published?
So internally, not knowing the information, correct information, like that was my biggest struggle. Like, who can I contact? I know what I have. I know what I have as far as my vision and what I actually have on paper, my product and my brand. I have all that, but how do I get that out to the world? So that was a part of the struggle for me, and I don't want to give my work to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I want people to see my vision and see where I'm going with. I don't want to work with just anyone. I believe that, like, my vision and who I am as a person, and people that believe in my vision and who I am as a person, I'd rather work with them than just anyone. Money really doesn't like phase me like that. I think it's much more important than that. Relationships with people is much more important. So internally, just finding the right person of who I can reach out to get what I need accomplished, and then externally, um, I will say, once I did fulfill it of what I wanted to do, what steps do I do to like promote it,
Mm-hmm.
get myself out there, make a connection with other people. If I just, randomly just talk to people day to day, post on Instagram or Facebook or things, websites, things like that. So I think that was well, a hard external to do.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that for those people out there, writing, sharing, being vulnerable. It's a process. You clearly saw that you had a vision, you believed in your vision, and that's always important. That's always the first step. So I congratulate you in being able to see that for you. Okay. All right. So let's see. How do you differentiate between your positive thoughts and your negative thoughts? So your book is called William Thoughts, and I know it's probably a mixture
Hmm.
in your book. So how are you able to differentiate and navigate through those multiple thoughts? And how did you use your book to kind of do
So I try to use for my book. I of course I have happy poems and a lot of sad poems, but I wanted to make a balance. Like, I didn't want everything in my book to be you know all negative,
that?
or like all positive. I want it to be a balance where people can see, to the trials and tribulations, my lifestyle, and like a roller coaster, like I'm going through the motions, so they can see improvement in the growth. So that's how I wanted to stress in my books.
Okay, I dig that. I dig that. And so, for you right now, where you are, is there a poem? Because I do want you. You talking about doing some virtual open mic. We might be able to do something here. I might. Can we get you to do a poem for the people?
Yeah, I can do one. I gotta figure out
Okay.
which one I'm gonna do. But
Okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
give you some
I
time to think about it. You don't
yeah,
have to do
yeah.
it right now. Okay, not right now.
Right.
But I do want you to think about it and let us know. Give me a one for us to take away for the people. So William Laws, tell us what that book really kind of entails and what because you said the first one was not as heavy. You just kind of wanted to give preview. What really was your inspiration in saying, okay, now I'm going to go in with William Laws?
I would say for William Laws, it was I'm not gonna say like a no care attitude, but it's like I'm gonna say what I need to say, and people want to hear what I need to say. First book I was kind of more timid. Second book is more out there and more vocal. So if I hurt people's feelings. I really don't care. So that's kind of how the tone is a little bit.
Okay. No, that's real. I appreciate you sharing that because one of the things like I do a mindful Monday, and today well this week the topic is letting it go, right? And really when you talk about letting it go, you gotta let go of like everything, what other people feel about you and what they may have to say, which is very important when you are being an artist, especially when you're expressing yourself in any form of fashion. So, congratulations to you for that. That's the Malcolm in you coming out. That's the Malcolm, okay? And the more and more you talk, I mean, I'm gonna talk to Jada, see if I can get Jada. You guys sound very much alike, and that we do have someone who concurred with me. They was like, I was just thinking the same thing, Chris. So, I'm just saying. So we got some supporters in the building. Uh, they're here to just let you know that they appreciate you and that they are in the building. Believe what you want. 2021 says excellent compliment to his first book, and I guess they're talking about the William Laws book. So, guys, if you would like to, um, we've been talking to A.W. Jackson, who is an author poet. He has a two books out. The first one is called William Laws. No, the William Thoughts, and the second one is called William Laws. And you can check out his book if you go to his website. All right, his website is. Tell them what the website is because I have it on the screen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No problem. So it's www.williamthoughts.com. No, THUGHTS.com, and then it will, once you see it right there on the page, you can either click either for the first copy or the second copy. If you wanted the autographed copy, you can go ahead and email me directly, and I can get that out to you.
Right. And if you click on either link, you can visit Amazon and purchase the books. As you can see, William Thoughts was released April 12th, 2020. And then William Laws was recently released in December of 2022. So, you've been doing this thing. Um, you've been doing this for a while. So you released your first book in the pandemic. How was that?
It was crazy. It was crazy because it was kind of super hard because at that point, um that's when I first got introduced to my editor. So at
Mm,
that time, we was going back and forth. Like we was meeting um at a bookstore. I forgot which bookstore it was. Believe it got closed down, but we was meeting up at a bookstore, and then I would have my work, and then we would go over back and forth. And then once the pandemic started, then we had to meet, by phone and things. So it kind of made it like harder, especially when we was going back and forth a lot to get, certain actions done. Whereas when we was in person, it could be, you know, done right there on the spot instead
right.
of live going back and forth. So that was a big struggle. And then when I ended up moving out of state, then that was kind of a struggle as well. But then she ended up moving to the same state, so we was able to like see each other and things like that. A little bit, so it made the process a little bit easier, but it was still hard overall.
Yes. And so one of the comments that we have from our chat is that they like the way that you wrote your title, William Arts and Laws. So tell us why you chose to spell them the way that you did.
So I chose to spell them the way I chose to spell them is because I'm different as a person. I think about things from a different lens, different standpoint. So I didn't want to be the same as everyone else. So I had to, took out certain letters and then left certain letters intentionally for that way.
Okay, I love it. So make sure again that you visit www.williamthoughts.com, correct?
Yes,
To
ma'am.
purchase, to find out more information about our author poet guest here, and to purchase both of his books that you can find on Amazon. Okay, We want to support our artists. We want to support the people that we have here. He's doing great things. The first book was released in the midst of the pandemic, literally. So I know that had to be a challenge, um, because for a lot of people, life kind of stopped. But what changed for you in the pandemic? What was like what was a pivotal, or what did you take away from the pandemic? Because so many people experienced it differently. What did you take away from the pandemic?
So I took away from the pandemic like nothing is promised, you know. Especially being thankful for your loved ones and your family members, people that you talk to. I know we're busy and we have lives and things, but I feel like it's our job and our mission to, you know, have these relationships and maintain these relationships with each other. You know, so I think the pandemic really made me see that how much family and just, you know, human beings and relationships is important, and that's how we survive as people.
Wow. Oh, look, you got some people. Somebody said they just bought the book. Whoop,
I
whoop.
appreciate it. Thank
Yes.
you.
All right. And then J.D. Samuel said, yo, my favorite poem is still, what is that one?
Oh, oh, Basquiat. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want to tell, I want you to tell me your favorite poem that you have written. Okay, so what is your favorite poem that you have written?
Oh man, it's so many.
It's so
Honestly, I
many, right?
can't.
It's so many
Yeah,
options.
honestly, I really can't even explain or say which one is my favorite. They're all like, you know, special place in my heart because at that time I was going through a lot, you know, with writing all the poems. So they're all very special. But if I was to say one, I would have to say I like Basquiat as
Okay.
well.
You might have to read
Um,
that one since we got that's a two for two hitter right there. You might have to read that one.
I can read a second poem. It's like part two to
Okay.
Basquiat in a way, so I could probably read that one. Um,
Okay.
but that one's a little bit more confusing. So we gonna see. But I have fun with writing all my poems, you know, because I go through so many, you know, moods and emotions and things. So and they all are important. So
That's what's up. Oh look, somebody said male survey. Is that a name of one of your poems?
oh yes, it is. Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
that's
Yeah, it
another
is. And
one.
book two.
Okay. Oh, so they got both the books. They said mail survey. That's another one. So listen, you got some people out here who really support you and appreciate the art that you're doing. And that says a lot about who you are. When people can pinpoint what their favorite poem is, something that really touched them. So congratulations. I'm excited to. I hope for those who do not know A.W. Jackson that you are inspired and you are intrigued and you'll go buy the books with an S, okay? With an S. Go buy the books. The website is scrolling down at the bottom, and I want you to. We're going to take a small interlude because, as you know, here on this show, if you don't know, if you're first time joining, I appreciate you for being here with us today. But and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel while you're here, and like me on follow me on Instagram at Smart Video Girl. I greatly appreciate it. You know, I'm pretty nice. I don't bite. And you know, I enjoy fun time. So make sure you go ahead and follow me over on IG. I just wanted to let everybody know what's going on. So we do new people, who is our guest today, A.W. Jackson. We also do new things. So of course, one of the new things today is the two books that were presented by our author poet. Make sure that you check those out and you get a copy today or tomorrow or when you get paid, either way. Your taxes are being filed, so make sure. I mean, it's only $20. What do they say at the poem? Only $20. So make sure, make sure you check him out, support artists, because that's something that we do. And if you like to read, you can also pick up a copy another book called The Dancer, and this is by my friend Mr. Frank Hardy Sr. It is about an African American woman during the early 1800s who was a slave on a plantation in South Carolina who used her gifts as a dancer to bring freedom to her and the people of her plantation. So make sure that if you like to read and if you like to incorporate art and some type of inspirational story, this is a great story to read. And then for you guys who do not know, I have so many things going on. So I want to let you guys know what's going to be on my calendar so that you can kind of follow me because I have a lot of stuff. The calendar is full. Okay? It's full. So this Friday, I will be doing a uh, talk on Speak Up Sis at 1 p.m. And the topic is The Work Is You. If you've been following me, then you know that I'm always talking about do the work, keep the faith, and the work is always you. It's not things, okay? It's not other people, it's you. If you don't work on yourself, then you cannot grow, okay? Own it, all that stuff. So make sure you check it out. This Friday, you can scan the QR code and like the YouTube channel at Speak Up Sis to check that out at 1 p.m. I'll be the featured speaker then. And then I have, uh, sep- I'm sorry, not September, March 11th, I'll be co-hosting Speak Life at 10 a.m. That's a IG Live, and which is a monthly IG Live that I host on the second Saturday of every month. And then Saturday, March 18th, I will be doing a talk on at the Social Justice, Racial Injustice Bible Study for Dreams of a Vision, which is a documentary project that I'm working on. Smart video girl, I do a lot, okay? I just do a lot. This is just one of them. And then March 23rd, I'll be having the second The Work Is You Thursday at 2 p.m. So make sure that you're following me on Facebook. And the topic is going to be take a look at your butt. All right. So we will take a look at your butts. And it's a very interesting conversation. Make sure that you tune in. But we always say, you know, that would be great, but. So what we're going to do on this Thursday is we're going to take a look at our butts. How are we using the word but in our conversation? All right. Are you using it to inspire hope or are you using it to make an excuse? So we're going to take a look at your butt. All right. And then April, we're going to start April with another speaking engagement. It's the Passion, Purpose, and Peace 3-day virtual summit. That is April 13th through the 15th. I will be doing a speech on that. Then the work is you, my journey to authenticity. And then my birthday is April 22nd. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Well, I'll be officially launching my uh, Be Earth You brand, which is my apparel brand, where I uh, promote living your authentic life. So I was born on Earth Day. God gave me the vision. He said, Be Earth You. And I said, okay. So I have developed this line of apparel and accessories that encourage you and remind you to live authentically. So welcome to authenticity, and you can visit www.beearthyou.com. And then lastly, I will be speaking at an event April 30th, I believe that's the date. Yes, April 30th from 1 to 4 p.m. It is a yoga wind down, and I will be the special guest speaker. And the topic is just breathe. So, as you can see, I am very busy. But every Tuesday here at 8 p.m., I am on Introducing with great guests such as A.W. Jackson, who is the author and who is an author poet and who has published two books, William Thughts and William Laws. So if you missed the first half, you're going to have to go back and check it out. But right now, are you ready? Are you ready to give us a little something? Something?
Yeah, I'm ready. Well,
Okay,
trying
good,
to
good.
figure out which
I'm
which
trying
mood you're all in.
to give you time. So look, so while he's searching through the books, don't forget to visit his website www.williamthoughts.com for more information, to purchase a copy of the book, to find out more about who he is, and greatly we greatly appreciate that. All right, all right. Let's see here. We got some comments. Let me know when you're ready, because I'm gonna look over here at the comments to see what the people have to say.
Perfect,
Okay,
perfect. So
okay,
I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I'm not gonna go to the second part of Basquiat. I chose to do something different.
okay.
But this poem is called Messiah. It's in my
Oh,
book two. It's in book two. I'm as rare as tasting the air, but my heart is ripped open, causing it to tear into bits of pieces of memories I want to stay buried. My life was surreal, but now it's mostly fairy. A tale you would only imagine if you opened a book, often looking in the mirror and seeing a new look, a look that's different every day, a look that's inconsistent of what life portrays, a look that's more harsh than taking my first sips of poison and becoming flamboyant, a look that's noticeable by the naked eye. No matter how hard to you try to unsee it, you will see it because it wouldn't be no reason to deny it. Thank you. So that poem was called Messiah. In my second book, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Were y'all feeling it? Wanted to do something a little different.
yes. No, thank you. Look, I had myself on mute because I clearly didn't know what I was doing. I said the same thing you said. So that was Messiah, all right, from his second release, William Laws, spelled Luws. Okay. And you can get both of those from his website, scrolling at the bottom. And if you would like an autographed copy, you can click the link under that and you can he'll send you an autograph uh, a copy. So tell me, what was your inspiration behind that piece?
Um, so for that poem, it was definitely having more confidence in who I am as a person. Um, I always, had like low self esteem and things like that. So it's basically telling me of who I really am as a person and how much growth that, I have for myself as an individual person and who I see myself, in the world and how I want people to see me.
Mm, I love that. So who's the ideal reader? Who is someone would they pick this book? Who is the ideal reader who would enjoy, who would get something from William Thoughts and William Laws?
I would say people that look for things outside of the box. It's not really narrow minded. Um, not go with societal norms and things like that. Just an open thinker, you know. Like I stated before, likes to be challenged and things, open to new ideas and things. So those whom are my readers,
Mm,
more mature audience.
I love it, and I'm just reading your shirt because when I had you solo, it says the opposite of poverty is not wealth, but the opposite of poverty is justice. I love that
Yeah, I
because
had to. Yeah,
yeah, that is a lot. That says a lot because we have to understand, especially here, you have to think outside the box. And you alluded to this before that especially in America, as especially and as Black Americans, as we wrap up Black History Month, right? We've been taught a lot of things that have not necessarily been the truth, right? Right. We've been fed a lot of information that kind of keeps us in in a poverty mindset, right? In a poverty, because like you said, the opposite of poverty is not wealth; it's justice. So if there are equal opportunities, if there is justice for all, then we break some of these barriers that keep us in pockets of poverty. So, that's thinking outside the box. And I love that because, new ways of thinking, which is our last segment here on the podcast, is how how can we think about what we see and what we think and what we say in a whole new light. And so that's why today's show is called Words and Thoughts, because I want people to really be mindful of the words and thoughts that we have and how they are a lot of times programmed. How we a lot of times we think on a train of things that we have been taught versus thinking for ourselves and thinking outside the box. So how did you get to this point where you said, what I see is not really what's going on, and now I think outside the box. Like, was that always in you, or was there something that kind of sparked a light in you to get you there?
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. Like growing up, I've always known I was different. I was different from everyone else. A lot of people had a lot of cliques, a lot of friends. I didn't have too many. Um, so I knew I was different from my mindset. I know I didn't see things as the norm, as the population would see it. I thought things a little bit differently. So that's kind of like what helps me, what drives me with my work.
I love that. I love that. So you do have a question. We have a question from the audience. Okay. From our
Perfect.
viewers out there who are watching, they would like to know. J.D. Samuel said, A.W., could you please explain your poem Wi Fi on page 70 of your second book?
Oh, perfect. Okay, yeah, yep. So Wi-Fi was basically so what I did was I like to incorporate my influences. So how I got the the concept of that poem is I like this song by Wale. Shout out to Wale.
Yeah,
But
Wale.
yeah. But it was one of his songs. I think it was probably it wasn't like a single or nothing. It was more like a kind of like a freestyle type song, but it was to this beat from another artist that I like, and basically I was basically mimicking that song, but I was writing my own version to the song. So Wi-Fi basically came with a woman in my connection, pretty much. So that's why I titled it Wi-Fi. Um, so that's how it came about. Great question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. I like that. I like that. So, what are some of the other influences for your poems? You said Wale. Okay. Do you have any other
Yeah,
influence?
so like I know for my first book, I like to listen to certain artists and things. I'm a big Summer Walker fan as well. So like one of my first in my first book, I kind of made a tribute to that, well, with the title at least, and changed it a little bit. Like Fall Walkers. So I chose Fall Walkers because I was born in the fall, and
Okay.
then tribute to summer as well. Um, Different things is titles. I know one in my first book I got Sabiato title in there. In book two, I talk about H Street, U Street a little bit, history, the DMV area a little bit, different landmarks and things like that, like Anacostia, busboys and poets, things like that.
Okay.
So it's a lot of like influence in my writing, as in the culture where I came from.
I love that. I love that. So as we wrap this up, I want to ask you a question about. So I'm working on a book, and I have a program. It's called "Do the Work and Keep the Faith." And as I was saying, the work is you. It's never things. It's never anyone else. It's not even your accomplishments. It is you. So, what was one of the biggest challenges that you faced in your life, and how did you, quote unquote, keep the faith in growing through that?
I would say one of the hardest times of my life is definitely suffering from like blood clots in my lungs and being in the hospital. Um, from like a stated period of time, whether it be like 3 days to a week or things like that. I will say, especially with this book, I released a lot of my poems when I was going through this in the hospital, by myself, on Christmas Day and things in a different state, kind of scary and lonely. Um, so that's why I kind of do with my work is take these experiences and things like that, and help me write these things.
Okay, so how did you keep the faith through that challenge?
I knew that my purpose was bigger, and that this too shall pass, pretty much. Even though it might seem like we're low and things are not going according to plan at this very moment, but it will get better. So this is temporary thought.
All right, all right. So, who are some of your biggest cheerleaders, real quick?
Definitely say,
Besides wifey, because I heard, I know wifey.
yeah, yeah, most definitely my mother, my best friend, Jazz, all my friends, all my friends that I talk to daily and things like that, checking in on me. We don't even have to talk every day and things, but I know the love is still there. They appreciate my hard work and things. I had one of my friends in the neighborhood actually reach out to me the other day and say he happy and see what I'm doing and things, that he going to get a copy of my book. So that was very inspiring for me and made me happy a little bit, because that's what this is for. Is for that purpose.
Amen, amen. All right, and so what is next for you, AW?
So what is next for me? Keep on trying to stay motivated and keep writing, even though life throws you curveballs all the time. So trying to stay in the right mind frame to keep always producing and being creative and never losing that spark in me. Despite what's going on in my life.
Yes, Aaron Green said, knowing your purpose is important, but thanks for sharing with us, AW. Yes,
You're
listen,
welcome.
I say that all the time. When you understand what your purpose is, when you can show up authentically as yourself, which is what life is about. Like we're all created, we're not created equally. We're all created differently. In the sense that we all have something special and unique in us that we need to share with the world. And so I appreciate you pushing through and accomplishing the things that you accomplished moving forward. Like publishing your first book. I've been trying to write a book forever. Okay. You will publish your book in the midst of the pandemic. That's dedication. That's a whole lot of things. And so that in itself is inspiration for someone who may be, looking to do the same thing. So you living in your authentic self, you living your true self and being able to share that and express that with somebody else is ultimately going to make an impact on those who need to hear it. And that's really what's important. That's really what's important. So tell me, how do you know Yonder? Let's get there, because we're gonna wrap this up, because he's the one who brought us together, and we want to pay homage to Yonder. We love you, Yonder. But tell me how you met Yonder.
Yes, yes. So shout out to Yonder for being a great mentor. Um, so how, like I was telling you about, I didn't know who to reach out to. I knew
Mm-hmm.
I had all these poems, and I know I wanted to do with it, but how do I get there out? How do I get that out, right? So
Right.
I was talking to my doctor, and I asked him, I was like, "Do you know any published authors or anything like that?" He was like, "Actually, I do." And he's local. I was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah, I'll ask him, and then if he says okay, I give him information and things like that." So I was like, "Okay, perfect." So I thought he forgot about it, because like weeks went past and things like that. It might have been longer than that. It might have been like a month. But then he reached out to me, called me. His doctor's office called me and said, "Hey, he got the phone number that you won, so reach out to him." So I was like, "Okay." So I reached out to him, set up a time, met at the bookstore. And then he loved my work. He was like, "Yeah, yeah, we gotta get this published. Like, we had
Yeah.
to do something with this." And I was just giving him what I had. Because that stuff that I read was like over 10 years old, so I didn't really think too much of it. So he put me in contact with his editor, his good friend, and the rest
Mm-hmm.
is history.
Yes. Amen. I love that. I love it. I love Yonder. He's such a inspirational person. He always pushes people to be their best. And he definitely saw something in you. He made sure that we connected, and I am internally grateful that he did. My people love you. They said this is you're one of my best guests so far. So
Thank you. I
I
appreciate
take that.
that.
Yes, be humble. Be humbled in that because that means a lot. I appreciate you coming on and sharing openly and reading from the book. Again, don't forget if you want to check out, if you want to order one of these lovely books, you can go on over to williamthoughts.com. Okay, williamthoughts.com. Get you a copy of the book. All right, you can click on and purchase either one of them from Amazon, or you can get a signed autographed copy by clicking on the link below on the website. But you gotta go to the website. Check it out. So one last question before we close it out. Somebody said, "Who is your favorite rapper?" Is it Jadakiss? Who's your favorite rapper?
Ooh, man, my favorite rapper. Mm, that's a tough one. I would say I don't have a favorite rapper. It used to be Lil Wayne,
Okay.
back in my earlier days. But this is like just all who I listen to. I like Lil Wayne. I like Currency. Um,
Currency.
I like yeah I like a lot of different music. Ace Hood.
Okay.
A lot of different stuff. So
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, closing parting words. Do you have anything that you would like to leave to impart on the people who have come in to introducing to learn about you today? Is there any last words?
yes, most definitely. I just wanted to thank you, Chris, for giving me the opportunity, to speak with you about who I am as a person, who William is, and my brand and what I'm trying to do for our people, for the people. I'm trying to
Yes.
get my word out there. One shout out to Yonder. Thank you very much for being the perfect mentor, for believing in me and things when other people didn't see my vision and my purpose and things like that. Just want to say, thank you to everyone that's tuning in because you could be anywhere else. Thank you for tuning in and taking the time for me to talk so you get to know me a little better. And you know what I'm saying. And last but not least, your soul is your legacy.
Well, I love that, and that speaks to your whole authenticity. Be your authentic selves, guys. I am Smart Video Girl. I am a creative and influential visionary who shows up authentically and empowers others to think and live their best lives. This is Introducing the Podcast, where you meet new people, learn new things, and form new ways of thinking. I want to thank my special guest, A.W. Jackson, for being here today, sharing your authentic self, and bringing some wonderful guests to tune in. I hope you enjoyed what you saw and that you have liked, shared, and subscribed to the channel so that you can get more of this. And AW, please make sure that this is not the last time that we stay connected. You share whatever you have going on with me because I would love to be able to help you share and promote it. Okay.
Most definitely, you're not gonna be a stranger. Thank you.
All right, that's what it is. So, with that being said, I wish you all a good night. Thank you. Like you said, you could have been anywhere, but you was here on Introducing, and we had a great time. So, with that, I'll see you next week. Oh, where's Women's History Month? So, we're going to kick it off with some great, oh, I'm so excited, with some great guests. So, tune in next week, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. right here on the Only Greatness Media Production YouTube channel. See you next week.